Hello, Reds. How are we? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Thursday wherever we are around the world. I did think it was Friday then for 2 seconds, but how are we, chat? Hopefully, all of you are good. Welcome back to a bit of breaking news episode, of course, around Hugo Ekitike. It does look like Liverpool will move ahead with the move for the French striker. I want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below because we're very intrigued to know all of your guys' thoughts on, of course, Liverpool looking like they are going after Hugo Ekitike over Alexander Isak. We'll discuss all of that in due course. And again, we'll look at all of the news that has come out over the last couple of hours around Hugo Ekitike. And of course, the bid as well that has supposedly already gone in from Liverpool, of course. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Let me know how all of you are as well. And like I said, if you are new around here, do hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. But like we said, we will jump straight into the news then regarding Hugo Ekitike. Now, this morning at around, what was it, about 9:30, I think it was, Fabrizio Romano put this report out saying that understand Liverpool are advancing today in club-to-club talks with Eintracht Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike, while the Isak deal depends on a final decision by Newcastle as they insist on a not-for-sale stance. Liverpool also progressing on both club and player side, and of course that was the major, obviously the major thing this morning. Again, a lot of rumours going around that Newcastle had pulled out of the deal and Liverpool were again advancing on that deal for Hugo Ekitike. And Fabrizio Romano did confirm that, as you guys can see on screen right now, as it says, but they understand Newcastle have now already left the talks for Hugo Ekitike. The deal considered off at this stage. Newcastle now focus on different targets as since Monday, obviously Monday's bid got rejected. Liverpool have entered the race. There were no advances from the Magpies. Liverpool are now advancing, and of course that has led to a bid from Liverpool Football Club. If we go and take a look from Fabrizio Romano again, because it's not, of course, not only him confirming the news. Again, there is other people that we will dive into, but he did come out and say, exclusive news, Liverpool have submitted a bid. As you guys can see, but Liverpool have submitted a bid for Eintracht Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike. Frankfurt already informed Liverpool that they want more. Proposal rejected, but it was initial contact as talks continue. Ekitike has said yes to Liverpool, no issues on personal terms, which again is great news, really. Again, I will back out of this. You guys can see. Again, it's only my tweets that you guys can see. But if we go and scroll down, even David Ornstein come out and said on the report saying that Liverpool advancing in talks to sign Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. Negotiations for the 23-year-old forward progressing on package worth of excess 18 million euros, which is around 69 million pounds, basically 70 million quid. French youth international want Liverpool, so personal terms no issue as well for Hugo Ekitike. Now, Fabrice Hawkins as well, if we quickly scroll a bit further down so you guys can see his report there. So it does say, but the exclusive Hugo Ekitike and Liverpool have reached an agreement over a 6-year contract. The player only wants Liverpool. In the last 24 hours, Manchester United and Newcastle have already left the conversations. The Man United ones, we'll talk about that. I think that's quite funny, to be fair. Negotiations ongoing between Frankfurt and Liverpool. Now, before we do get into the Liverpool side of things, I do quickly want to talk about Manchester United, because for some reason Manchester United put their names in this conversation. And look, they were never ever going to be in there for long. Look, Liverpool have looked at Hugo Ekitike for some time. Look, this isn't just a quick reaction, because again, Newcastle tried to buy Hugo Ekitike, and of course we tried to get Alexander Isak, or tried to again take a look at the Isak situation. Liverpool have scouted for a very long period of time Hugo Ekitike, they believe he is the guy that can lead Liverpool's front line. Again, 22 years of age. Again, has plenty of experience in terms of, again, clubs and the moves that he's already acquired at the moment. You know, you look at PSG, you look at Frankfurt as well. Obviously, Rennes as well. He was all or Reims, however you want to pronounce it. Of course, he was at them as well. So he's had a few good clubs really that he's broke in through. But I think certainly over the last 12 months at Frankfurt, he has really come into his own and obviously established himself in that Frankfurt team. And again, I think in the France under 21 system has really flourished really. I think again, if you take and go and look back at games earlier on in the season where I think he got a hat-trick against England under 21 as well, who just won a European Championship. So when you look at it on that, again, the prospect of Hugo Ekitike is very, very promising for sure as well. But big up Bri as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Saying evening con. You did a show months ago about how Ekitike would be the perfect Isak alternative. Fair play. Yes, we did. We did do it. I think it was about, was it November time? And I've said it for a very long time. If Liverpool don't get Alexander Isak, he is the perfect guy to come in. And all right, it's not gonna be, blitz him from day one, but give it time. And I think Hugo Ekitike could potentially get up to Alexander Isak's level in terms of goal scoring and in terms of just general play. Again, we're going to do a video that's going to come out tomorrow, a bit more in depth about Hugo Ekitike. But genuinely, I think Liverpool, if of course the cards are played correct, and of course it does depend on other signings in this summer transfer window already, Liverpool have an unbelievable front line, and it's scary to even think about it as well. But genuinely, I'm very much excited for the Hugo Ekitike move. I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. My honest opinion, I do think we are signing a real top talent. I know some people are a bit skeptical because, again, I think people still have PTSD from Darwin Núñez. But honest to God, I do think he is one of the most talented players that we could have got on the market, really. And again, he has made it 100% clear he wants to join Liverpool. There's no other teams. There's no other question marks around it now. He has already told Frankfurt he wants the Liverpool move. It's not like another club's going to come in and hijack Liverpool's move. Liverpool know the fact that Hugo Ekitike wants Liverpool, and of course Liverpool want Hugo Ekitike as well. But at the present moment in time, of course, Liverpool did present a bid around 80 million euros. That got rejected. Of course, that's around, 70 million pounds. Supposedly, they want around 88 million euros because, of course, obviously his release clause is 100 million euros, which, again, a million, pounds wise, I think that's around, 86 million pounds. But I think as of things right now, I would most likely say we are going to get him for around 75 million pounds at the present moment in time. But again, look, it could be 70 million guaranteed with 5 million in add-ons. But I do think a deal will get done very, very quickly. I do believe that. I think we are going to wrap it up probably before the weekend closes because, again, the Reds do fly out, I think, to Hong Kong on Sunday, I believe. So again, it's definitely going to be the case that we want to get this deal done ASAP, really. And look, of course, I think everybody is kind of like, I've seen some people go like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have made like the whole headline about going for Alexander Isak. Again, I think the club did the right thing personally. I think, again, the target going into the summer was Hugo Ekitike because realistically Alexander Isak was unavailable, but Liverpool tried, and I think that's the thing for me as Bryce over there. Obviously Isak was the first choice, but I'm very happy with Hugo, and that's the thing. I said it on Twitter, I'm happy with both. I'm very, very happy that we're getting Hugo Ekitike because I think he has the potential to become one of the best strikers in the world. But again, I know people will go on about obviously his shot conversion rate and other bits and pieces. Look, in general build-up play, he will be outstanding for Liverpool. Him and Florian Wirtz, the connection between them both will be unbelievable. And then you have Mo Salah on the right. You could potentially end up having Cody Gakpo and a possible new signing in Rodrigo, possibly on the left-hand side as well, if Luis Diaz does leave Liverpool this summer, which I do think will happen. But look, I'm very excited for that, and I think it will be interesting now as well, because Liverpool are going to spend obviously less than the 120 million we was going to spend on Alexander Isak. Does that now free up a little bit of space to go on and possibly buy another striker to possibly back up Hugo Ekitike? I think that's a question mark as well, really, because again, the first choice striker will be Hugo Ekitike, with Darwin Núñez leaving, and of course, Liverpool not having anyone else apart from probably Chiesa that can play that position at the moment. Of course, I do think Liverpool might look for a backup, or if we was to go for a Rodrigo, maybe Liverpool think again Rodrigo can play multiple positions in the forward line and would go with that type of deal. I think that's a really smart move personally, because again, can play as a striker, can play on the wing, either side of the wings really, can play on the right and mainly on the left. I think that's what Liverpool are going to buy him for. So there is definitely plenty to take away from from the Ekitike deal. And I think as well, when we talk about build up and we talk about how Liverpool will change the way we play from what we did last year, I personally think Hugo Ekitike is perfect for the way we do things, or the way we want to do things, for the future. But at the moment, look, Liverpool want to get Hugo Ekitike as quick as possible to get him on the Asia tour. And look, like I said, I think, of course, we fly out on Sunday, late Sunday evening. So with that being said, you would think that Liverpool would want to try and get things done ASAP, really. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised even if we had a Here We Go tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, it's very much exciting times, Reds, isn't it? Of course, there's 19 people in right now. If you could, please hit the like button. Obviously, hit the share button as well, and let me know your guys' thoughts as well. Are you happy with Hugo Ekitike? I've seen some people not whinge, but I've seen a couple of people again say that they would prefer certain someone else. Again, for me, I like the signing of Hugo Ekitike for sure. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts. Cal says Ekitike and Rodrigo are coming. Well, I think Ekitike obviously now is a guaranteed, but Rodrigo only happens if Luis Diaz leaves. And with, of course, I think the Saudi Pro League market opens up. I want to say it's just started up, hasn't it? Or the market's only just opened. So look, obviously Darwin Núñez getting linked to Saudi. I think things will start ramping up over the next week on what's happening in terms of certain players leaving and certain players being involved in the Saudi Pro League. I think Darwin's one, Luis Diaz is another one, I think, as well. Yeah, thank you, James. As James said, they opened yesterday. So 100%, the next week we'll 100% see moves being happening in the Saudi Pro League. Of course, we know for a fact that Al Hilal want Darwin Núñez because of obviously Insigne is a huge fan of his. So again, we'll have to truly wait and see. But again, I think Liverpool might already know what's happening with Darwin, because again, we've kind of played this move with Hugo Ekitike and trying to get him in the door anyway. But if you guys are just tuning in right now and wondering what I'm going on about, anyway, for you guys now, let me get Romano's tweet back up for you guys. So of course, this was 6 hours ago as time of recording. Of course, that Liverpool have submitted a bid, but of course it's been rejected by Frankfurt. Of course, they want more money, which again is understandable, really, because Liverpool, to be fair to them, have turned around and said they have £120 million to spend on a striker at the present moment in time, which isn't great news, really. But yeah, look, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think it's a Cameron. Again, I apologize for butchering any names. Ekitike, Mateta, and Gahi would be great window for me. I think two of the three of them for sure. I don't think Liverpool are going to get Mateta personally, because I think Palace would ask for ridiculous money. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I think Mark Gahey and Ekitike, I think 100%. I would agree with that 100% for sure. But don't know about Ekitike yet. Let's see as well. I think he'll come good, Cal. I really do. I think he has all the qualities, and again, it's a bit different now compared to what it was maybe 2 years ago when we did sign Darwin Núñez, because again, Darwin Núñez was definitely a Jurgen Klopp signing. He was the striker that Jurgen wanted for the football team, and the way that the team was going. In some sense, the stupid thing we ended up doing with Darwin Núñez was the fact we ended up trying to play the false nine position with an out-and-out striker that runs in behind. Of course, we kind of changed the way we played in 23-24, where obviously everything goes through to the striker, and obviously the striker has so many chances. I think the way we're trying to play it now in terms of build-up is terms of the creativity is the midfield, but obviously the wing backs and the wingers are really the focal point in terms of goals and assists, similar to what we've seen with Mo Salah last year. But again, if Liverpool end up signing Rodrigo, Mo Salah will have a lot less pressure then to perform, because I think we even said it at some point, didn't we, last season, that Liverpool, if Mo Salah didn't score or assist at one point, Liverpool wasn't scoring goals. And that, for me, again, needs to be... of course, Mo will want to hit certain levels next season, once again. But I feel like next season, with the team that we are building, again, the midfield of McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Wirtz, again... And then if we do end up signing Rodrigo, you then got Gakpo, Rodrigo, Ekitike to kind of take that pressure off Mo to, number one, create, and B, finally score chances that we end up creating. Because again, I know obviously people go on about missed chances and this, that, and the other. But again, Liverpool last season, I think, missed the most big chances in the Premier League. So again, if we can convert them, again, imagine how many goals Liverpool can end up scoring next season, compared to, again, last season where we won the league, but we, again, missed so many big chances. So I think if we can just finish them off, again, great. And also help Mo Salah in some sense as well. But don't know about Ekitike yet. Yeah, let's see as well. Yeah, 100%. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Hugo Ekitike. Look, me personally, I love the signing. If it is to go through, of course, he still has to have a medical and so on as well. I believe they are. I think he is still in Frankfurt. I don't think they've gone on pre-season anyway at the moment. But even still, I think Frankfurt are also toying with them, toying with social media, because again, obviously they did post Ekitike hitting the crossbar today, I think it was, or hitting the target. So trying to get a couple of millions up for point scoring there, really. But again, I think the thing for me that I love about it as well is the fact that he has automatically confirmed that, look, I want Liverpool Football Club. That, for me, that's the type of player I want. And this is the other thing a little bit with Alexander Isak as well. Don't get me wrong, Isak is a phenomenal player, great striker. If he wanted the move that badly, he would have put in a transfer request. Simple as that. I think everybody, I think I even said it yesterday, I personally did feel Alexander Isak would be joining Liverpool over Ekitike. I thought that, number one, Newcastle would want to cash in, and then obviously redevelop the team through that money. And then I did think that, look, Isak would have said to Newcastle, look, I want to leave. I want to be, go to Liverpool and maybe have a new challenge, or even, have a new perspective in terms of going on to potentially win a Champions League and win the Premier League, win the Champions League. And that, for me, is something that, look, Liverpool can go back to the Isak deal in the future. Look, Liverpool want the Ekitike now. Nothing is stopping us from going next summer, saying look, all right, we could have the strikers of Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak from next season onwards. Of course, you're not going to play them together because Liverpool fans have made it quite clear you can't play them in a 4-4-2 together. If you any Newcastle fans watching that fuming. But at the end of the day, Liverpool could still go for Alexander Isak, absolutely. But I felt like if anything was to happen, or anything was to move in terms of Isak creating noise about it, he would have had to make a transfer request. And I think we said it yesterday, didn't we, chat, that I think Isak's not that type of person. Personally, I don't personally think that. But look, I have to be honest. I didn't think we would have got him unless he made a transfer request. But again, Liverpool could go next summer for him, absolutely. But Rodrigo, Gakpo, Ekitike, Mateta, Salah, Doak, Wirtz, Bosley. I think change Doak for Chiesa. I think Ben Doak might be used in Mark Gahey deal potentially. But again, that's just a thought. No one has shut down the Isak deal, though. Yeah, true. Nobody has at the moment. Everyone else is kind of. To be fair, everyone has kind of not played it down. Of course, nobody's truly played it down at the moment. But again, the stance is simple. He's not for sale. And Newcastle have kept to that. I think Liverpool tried to, because again, we now know as well, this is one of the things I was meant to mention, we now know Liverpool did contact Hugo Ekitike's team before we contacted Newcastle about Isak as well. So I know Newcastle fans have gone like, oh, why have they contacted the backup first? I think Liverpool realistically, Liverpool knew Newcastle's stance, and Liverpool have been quietly making the inquiry all season long, or, certainly the back end of the season, going like, oh, is Isak available? And for me, that's something that Liverpool have done quite respectfully and, done it quietly. But I think, obviously, this week we kind of looked at it and went, right, we want to make a decision, because, again, if Isak is available, or if we put 120, 130 million pounds on the table, what's your reaction going to be? A Liverpool going to, not Newcastle, Liverpool, sorry, a Newcastle then going to bite Liverpool's hand off because we've offered 130 million pounds for Alexander Isak? That, like I said, that they then could reinvest. They could then go and buy Ekitike. They could, of course, go and buy Trafford and Scavini with no problems for who they are after at the moment. So again, that's the thought process behind it. But they've stayed firm and they've gone like, no, he's not for sale. We want to keep hold of him. But again, I do wonder if, for example, Isak does have an injury impact season, whether or not Newcastle fans may look at it and go, oh, maybe we should have took the 130 million, or we should have took the 120 million pounds. That for me is something that Newcastle fans can only answer that, really. But look, in my opinion, again, I think Hugo Ekitike can get up to that level in a couple of years' time. Look, it's not going to be day one impact, but he is going to be one for the future for sure. Absolutely. But look, it's an interesting one, isn't it? What else we have? Big up Martin as well, who doing well, mate. It's a nice one, mate. Thought this would be the case as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think you mentioned that yesterday, to be fair, Martin, as well. But I'm shocked Isak as well. I was shocked Isak hasn't put in a transfer request. Well, that's what I said to you yesterday, didn't I? I thought that was the only way Liverpool would get him. But yeah, he hasn't done it. Liverpool have moved fast here. Trust me, 150 mil was quoted, or he's not for sale at all. Yeah, like I've always said it to you guys. The fact that Newcastle have said he's not for sale, but then put a price on it, I think they did really get scared when Liverpool said, okay, we'll pay 120 million pounds, because I don't think they thought Liverpool could do it. Now, we know from, is it David Powell spoke about it, on paper, Liverpool can spend 200 million pounds, like right here, right now, without player sales. Liverpool could spend 200 million pounds. Of course, they might not do that. But when we talk about Ekitike, when we talk about Rodrigo, Liverpool could, in theory, go on to do that, and with no problem at all. But look, I personally look at it and go, Liverpool have definitely given themselves the option in the future for example, if Isak says, I want to join, I want to leave Newcastle, I think Liverpool would be there still, even if we do sign Ekitike for the future, for sure. But why are we not going for Osimhen? 65 mil is a steal, in my opinion. Big up Duffers as well. I personally don't want Osimhen. I don't, and this is the thing, I don't really rate Osimhen as highly as people do. I know some people would love him at the football club, yourself as well, probably. I think, number one, he doesn't fit our style, and I think the way we're going. But I also look at it and go, I think Victor Osimhen would kind of be like Lukaku in the Premier League. Again, might have like a couple of good games, but then I do think would struggle. I do think he would. I don't think he'd be decent for us anyway. Excuse me, a couple of hiccups now. What else we got? Gary says Talia Albin, Isak was never a reality. Ekitike will score at Wembley. Rodrigo next. Albin, one call. Yeah, you did. To be fair, though, I called it months ago. Like I called it. What was it? 6 months ago. Like this was going to happen. But yeah, big up Con as well, big up Phil as well, hopefully doing well. Promo is in, hopefully doing well. I like that name. Still no reports that we have given up. On Isak, no, there won't be any, because again, Liverpool are still holding interest. It's just Newcastle have said not for sale, and that's something we have to, of course, respect at the moment. But look, at the end of the day, I'm happy with Hugo Ekitike for sure. But big up Scouser as well, saying I need Ekitike in before the tour so he can hit the ground running as well. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing at the moment that Liverpool, I think, are rushing to try and get sorted. I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as we have a agreement with Frankfurt that again we'll fly him over and get it done. Really, I can't see us again hanging around for it. Liverpool won't. I'd be surprised if Liverpool waited until like Monday, for example, to get everything done in terms of like medical and all that. Like I would be super surprised if we didn't get everything done by Saturday. You know, again, tonight get a fee done, tomorrow have a medical, and then fly over. Maybe Liverpool might, give him a bit of time, because again, we know for a fact he's gonna, he wants to join Liverpool and he wants to, of course, be a Liverpool player. But again, I wonder whether or not we're actually going to give him time to obviously come over, find a house, for example, and all that stuff. As well. But what else do we have? I hope Rio Nguma gets his time. He's 17, end of August. Is there a minimum age for the first team? No. I think, is it 15? I think the age is. Again, I'm not too sure, but of course he will sign a professional contract when he turns, I think, 18. So yeah, he will turn. When he turns 18, he of course will have a professional contract at the football club. So when he does have that, again, boss, great, amazing. And yeah, 100% he should be given game time. But look, who knows? What else do we have? You think we go in for Gordon if Rodrigo is impossible? I don't think Liverpool let Luis Diaz go unless Rodrigo is possible. I don't think Liverpool. I personally don't think Liverpool want to deal with Newcastle for Gordon either, because Newcastle are going to ask around 70. They're going to ask for around £100 million. They are easily going to ask for that because he's just signed a new contract last summer, unless there is a Liverpool clause in that contract, because they know, of course, Liverpool had interest in Anthony Gordon back. What was it, last summer? With the whole Joe Gomez, Joel Konza, switching for PSR. For me personally, if I was to pick between the two, I would go Rodrigo over Gordon. I think Gordon, the season he's had, I don't think he's worth the money, personally. Again, if this was a year ago, I think you are looking at it a bit different, because I think Anthony Gordon, I think obviously that last summer just come off a season where, again, against the Big Six, scored an unbelievable amount of goals and assists. But I think obviously the previous season he didn't really hit the ground running, really, in my opinion anyway. But again, look, Rodrigo, there are question marks around Rodrigo for sure. But again, whether or not, again, ultimately depends on if Luis Diaz leaves. If Luis Diaz doesn't leave, then nobody else is coming in terms of the front line this summer. Sorry, we're supposedly looking at Rodrigo and Gordon. I don't want Gordon. I would kind of agree with that 100%. We mean business this window. Big up Nige as well, who's doing well. Absolutely brilliant as well. Yeah, well, Liverpool are looking to retain the Premier League title and try and win number 7 as well. Try and win big years for a 7th time. Apparently, we want him for the 26th. Who's this? Ekitike. I would. Hang on, what's the date today? 17th. Yeah, I would be surprised if we don't get him done this weekend. I would personally, anyway. Gordon would definitely force a move. He didn't really last year, though. That's the other thing. He kind of did, but he didn't at the same time. He told Newcastle he wanted to go if it was available. Newcastle turned it down because they didn't want to lose Gordon themselves and thought that they could work around their PSR problems. Of course, they did it in the end, but Liverpool got quoted at the time £75 million. Like Liverpool were going to spend £75 million on Gordon while getting £45 million back for Joe Gomez. So in theory, Liverpool only spent around 30 million quid. The problem is with that now, of course, you're not going to do that. You're like Liverpool are not going to have a player to use, and plus, Newcastle are going to want more than 75 million now. And yeah, of course, with the whole Alexander Isak stuff and the Hugo Ekitike stuff, they are probably going to be, a bit reluctant to sell to Liverpool. Absolutely. This is why I think Liverpool are going to go for Rodrigo, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. What's up, buddy? As well, big up QT as well. Obviously, QT, you will see a spanner on your name. Of course, hopefully you are happy with that as well. But no to Gordon as well, says Nige. Karen says, think Slot will go more of a diamond 4-4-2 shape that turns into a 3-5-2 shape with Gravenberch making it a 3, if not Kirkes. Sometimes once we get a proper 9 as well, we're going to do more, of course, tactical stuff and talk about it. But like I said, we're going to have something come out tomorrow about why Liverpool have signed Hugo Ekitike and how he fits the system. Really. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that on the channel. But big up Dean as well, if you're doing well, saying, hi mate, replacing Diaz with Gordon for me is a downgrade. He just doesn't show enough during the season. We know what we get from Diaz every week, 102 heart and soul. I would agree with that, and I would agree with you. Look, the player Luis Diaz, I would 100% keep for Liverpool. But I look at that. I look at him, asking Liverpool to leave the football club. Again, he wants to leave the football club. He wants to get a new contract. Liverpool are saying no. So he wants to move on. He wants to move to Bayern Munich, Barcelona, these types of clubs, because, again, the contract side of things, they are probably going to offer a ridiculous amount of money. Probably Bayern Munich, more so than Barcelona, because Barcelona have registration issues. The problem is Liverpool have €100 million price tag on him. Now, the only clubs that can go that high is Saudi Pro League. We know that for a fact. And that's what Liverpool are waiting for. Liverpool are waiting for Saudi Pro League clubs to come in and make a statement, because it'll be interesting once the Saudi clubs do come in for Luis Diaz, whether or not Bayern Munich then reacts to that. Now, look, we know Bayern Munich are going to bid a second time for Luis Diaz. That's already been pretty much confirmed coming out of Germany. So it'll be very interesting to know how close that second bid is for Luis Diaz. But in my honest opinion, I think Liverpool are going to 100% wait for Saudis to come in for Darwin and Luis Diaz, because I still laugh at Newcastle fans claim that the PIF are not doing any more deals with FSG, which, to be fair, FSG and the PIF have had a very good working relationship for years, and we're talking about I think even a decade. They've had a good working relationship. So, like, of course, they'll keep on doing business as usual. Anyway, but what else do we have? QT says, I'm going to go back up. Thanks for that, buddy, as well. I still don't think this Isak thing is over. This summer, I think it is. Next summer, I don't think so. Newcastle is running out of getting players, and we have a few that would do good there as well. Harvey Elliott, potentially. If they're playing this 4-4-2, we should go for VDV. Who's that? Van de Ven? Is that who you're thinking about, Cal? I personally don't rate Van de Ven. Very injury prone. Mickey Van de Ven is, when you actually look at his record. It's not great. Mate. So Gordon for me should be a stopgap, which we don't do. I don't think Liverpool sign Anthony Gordon. I think we either keep Luis Diaz, or we know for a fact Rodrigo is available. That's my honest opinion, because again, Liverpool could sign a backup for Gakpo and rely awfully on Cody Gakpo, but like we seen last season, where Liverpool, we would switch out Gakpo and Luis Diaz on the left, even when Jota and Darwin Núñez was occupying the striker position. Normally, Arne Slot would like to rotate, and I think with having the way we play as well, I think having two wingers, of course, Mo Salah is a machine, but having two left wingers is a very good aspect of things. And I also look at it and go that Rodrigo, we've talked about how Liverpool want a versatile forward and a versatile striker. Is Rodrigo not that? I think he is. I think 100% he's that. He can play on the left, can play on the right, he can even play as a striker. He's played there, I think, for Brazil and for Real Madrid. And supposedly Real Madrid and Liverpool are friends, if you believe it. From friggin' Florentino Perez. So who knows what will happen? But Van de Ven has no hamstrings. Yeah, again, Van de Ven, he's a decent player. Would I have him at Liverpool? No, I personally, anyway. But QT, that's because of Postecoglou's system, playing that high line, high up all the time, can mess you about. It can, absolutely, it can. But I don't think, apart from pace, I don't think Mickey Van de Ven's that good, if I'm being honest. Is Rio good enough at the moment for you to get at least 10 games? I wouldn't, personally, I personally wouldn't rush him. I think you've got time on your hands there. Again, for the player that he is at the moment, he's a very young, exciting prospect. But I think Liverpool, even if we was to buy, let's say, a winger this summer to replace Luis Diaz, Liverpool can then take their time on Rio and really develop him into the player they want him to be, and then unleash him then maybe in a season or two. Because of course Arne Slot has very high thoughts upon him. Again, brought him in last season in the FA Cup and the League Cup, I think, as well. So again, Liverpool have faith in him. But again, whether or not we bring him in as a backup for Gakpo or whatever, again, I think it's a bit too soon for that. So, but I think you'll get cup games for sure. I think if Liverpool get decent fixtures in the FA Cup and in the League Cup, I think we will see Rio a few times this season for sure. Hugo can play on the left also as well. He can vary from it as well, but I think you are looking at Liverpool's new number 9. If I'm being honest, I think you are 100% looking at Liverpool's new number 9. Ekitike done, Diaz and Núñez money buys Rodrigo, and for me, a young Rio gets in the squad for a third choice left winger as well. Yeah, I would agree, for sure. Rodrigo, Ekitike, Salah, Vert in the 10. Yeah, I'm not repeating that last part. I'm not going to get banned. Robbo playing centre-back in pre-season. Hope it's not something going forward, even in cup games. To be fair, it's probably just a one-off. QT, it is 100% just a one-off. It's a good thing, the fact he can play in that position if we ever need it. But yeah, no, it's only a one-time thing, in my opinion. Of course, Liverpool do have to sell left backs, because the one thing I do think is interesting is the fact that, again, it now looks like Robbo is staying because of the whole Atletico Madrid stuff that's broken down. But Kostas Tsimikas as well, coming out with like season 6, episode 1 for pre-season. I'm like, we're not keeping Kostas, surely. But yeah, I personally don't think it's. I personally don't think we end up having 3 left backs at the club next season, in my honest opinion. I think Kostas will leave. I think the plan is to have Milos Kerkez and Andy Robertson as our left backs next season. But yeah, it's a complete question mark at the minute where he's going to go, for sure. But yeah, Liverpool not signing a centre half. We're keeping Robbo at centre half for next season. Can't lie, Rodrigo is a big game player. Diaz ain't. Diaz conversion rate last 2 seasons have been awful as well. I get that, but I also look at it and go, Lucho is a very good, hard-working player. And I think we've all said it. If Lucho could finish, we would be talking about a player that's worth 150, 200 million pounds. But unfortunately, Diaz can't fit. He misses many chances. So yeah, it is what it is at the moment. Big up Edward as well, saying big up bro. We'll have a super team next season. Hopefully, the way it is going. But yeah, I say at the moment it's going. It is already a super team that we are building. Would you keep Ibu? Yes. Maybe try and convince him to stay for 1 more year, or try and get him to obviously sign a new contract. But yeah, it's an interesting one at the minute, isn't it? The one thing I will also say as well, with the Hugo Ekitike stuff, we know that PSG will get 20% of the sale as well. So maybe that's why maybe Frankfurt want obviously a bit more of it, but apparently from the profit that Frankfurt get, PSG will get 20% as well. So this is why they're probably trying to bump up the price near the release clause. But yeah, I don't think Liverpool are going to go anywhere near that. Here Newcastle want 100 million for Livramento, with City in for him. If he's worth 100 mil, then Kerkez was a daylight robbery. Yeah, he was a daylight robbery anyway. But yeah, no, it's no chance he's worth 100 million. Jesus Christ. The only 100 million pound worth fullback was Trent. But obviously now he will never go for that because obviously the price. Obviously going for a free transfer as well. But yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? As well, big up Liz as well. Hopefully doing well. Saying 100% Dean as well. But yeah, he's not worth 100 million for sure. Connor, how many goals do you think Hugo will score in all competitions? 20. I think he'll score 20 goals this season, hopefully. But yeah, I'm gonna go 20. He got how many goals did he get last season in all competitions? I think it was 22. Hang on a minute, chat. Hugo Bosch. Yeah, last season, 22 goals, 12 assists in all competitions. So, yeah, let's go 20 in all competitions as a hope anyway. But look, I think he will be getting a load of goals and assists. Just how many he'll get, I'm not too sure. Didn't Bournemouth batter Newcastle 4-1 to Kirk scoring? Yeah, they absolutely destroyed them, didn't they? At St James's Park. Earlier on I say earlier on the season, a few back in the season anyway. But look, we are going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Well, tonight, guys, it is still the afternoon, evening time. Of course, normally we are live a bit later on. Anyway, but look, we are going to be back probably a bit later on to talk about Rodrigo and about Ekitike. If there is any breaking news, we'll be back live a bit later on anyway. But Liz says, how happy are you with the transfer window? Very happy right now. if we were to get, obviously, Hugo in and to get his centre off, it could possibly be a 10 out of 10 window. But yeah, as of things right now, I do think it's a solid 8 at the minute, pushing a 9. But yeah, Rodrigo centre half and Ekitike, it would be 10 out of 10 window for sure. In this team, he should score 30 plus. To be fair, Gary, we said this about Darwin Núñez, and yeah, he never really hit that. So again, I'll go for an optimal 20. Anyway, hopefully Mo and the others can get a lot more as well. But Conor Bradley for me, and the role Slot want to fall back to play could get about 6 goals and about 10 assists in his first choice as well. Well, again, him and Frimpong, I think, will be brilliant this season. And Kirkes. I think Kirkes will be one of the best signings of the summer, or one of the best signings of the season, I think, really, with it anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below. But 8 out of 10, get a centre-back and Rodrigo. Same here as well from Liz. And big up to Cal as well. Big up Gary as well, saying I still go for Isak as well. But if he was available, sure. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like he is as of right now. But the one thing I would also say to you guys as well, don't be surprised if Liverpool go back in for if Liverpool don't go back in for Alexander Isak at some point. Maybe if he's available next season or next summer, Liverpool might go for him again. But again, that will, I think, totally depend on what Newcastle do next season as well. Like if Newcastle are comfortable top 4 again and look to be competing with the likes of Liverpool, City, Arsenal, again, Liverpool might just, again, not go anywhere near that. But I think next summer, more clubs, I think, will be looking at it, because I think, I said it to you yesterday, I think this summer was the only summer you could have got Isak over £100 million. I think next year, yes, he's got 2 years left in his contract, but I think for a 26-year-old striker that he'll be next year, I don't know. Again, I think it depends on what happens with next season anyway. But on the Liverpool side of things, Liverpool look like they're going to get Hugo Ekitike, and I'm over the moon with it. I think he'll be a really, really good player for us. And look, I think Liverpool have got a really, really good player on their hands for sure. But this reminds me of City at start of their new era, 17-18 as well, says Cal. Yeah, well, again, Liverpool, this is, it's very rare. It's very rare for Liverpool to go this, bold in the transfer window. So again, drink your all in, and obviously we'll hopefully be prepared for the defense of our Premier League title anyway. But look, hopefully I'll see you guys a bit later on. If there is any more news about Hugo Ekitike, we'll be back live for it ASAP. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the COP Council. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.